Hello, welcome back. I'm Darren, and today we are back in the first Descendant. Now, the first thing I want to say is I am testing out a new mic. So I am currently running on the Rode podcast mic, which arrived today. So please, in the comments, give me some feedback on whether you feel it's better or worse than the Wave 3, Wave something 3, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, audio levels, everything else, just let me know. Some feedback would be really handy because it's hard for me to tell, and you do get the odd comment every now and then about the audio, so audio is a nightmare. Unfortunately, it's very easy to start up at a wrong setting and half an hour of content goes tits up. So I would appreciate some feedback. Just let me know if the Wave sounded better or if this sounds better. I think this will probably cancel the keyboard and mouse clickety clacking a little bit better, but yeah, let me know. Now, basically, I've just completely destroyed half an hour recording from crashing, and it was only through my stupidity I realised, and I don't know when I did it, but I ran a 5.4 overclock on my CPU for quite a long time, and somewhere a few weeks ago I decided, when I was bored, to push it to 5.5 and see if it was happy. I just realised that it was still running at 5.5, and with the increase in the hottest day of the year, it was not happy. So there you go, I just learned a valuable lesson. But regardless of that, so we are going to check out, at the moment we are native, so we are on the RTX 4080 because we have all the upscalers available to us, and we are going to check out the visual look because visuals is me. I'm a visual man. Performance is not me. I'm a COD player at max visuals. That's just the way I am. So this is basically native, so we have nothing turned on, none of the upscalers, they are turned to off, and as you can see, we have the perfect Unreal Engine 5 45 FPS across the board every time. I don't know why, it must just be where they decide to do it. So I think the XTX and the 4080 in this are very, very similar. They are in a lot of the Unreal Engine 5 games, both generally about 45 FPS. So, I mean, you can see it's kind of, this is native, it is not perfect. Look at the hooks above my head. Now, I don't think anything fixes those, but a lot of stuff doesn't make them any worse. To be fair, that we are at a low frame rate. That building does get a little bit blurry. The rest of it isn't bad. So we are at 4. Sorry, I should have said we are at 4K. We'll quick end the settings. So display, we are at 4K, and we have the. Oh, that might be why. When did that knock down? That's interesting. It did reset after I crashed. It knocked everything down to low. I didn't realise. So this, I normally run at about 3. When I first started this game, I didn't realise there was a sharpness scale, and everything just looked blurry, because I expected a sharpness scale to be within the graphics and normally around where the upscaler options are. Hey, they decided to hide it somewhere else, right? So yeah, we are at ultra settings, and we have no upscalers. Motion blur, god damn it, is on, so let's turn that off. Maximum frame rate we'll go with unlimited. Turn VSync off. All of that stuff was supposed to be gone. Okay, so that's better. Obviously, we still got the aliasing, but we have a cleaner, sharper. I mean, if anything, it might be a little bit too sharp now. I am running it. Like I said, I run it at 3, I think, but I am upscaling. So, no, it looks alright. If you like a sharp image, it's sharp. Character model looks good. All those power lines look good. So it's only the really fine details, like those hooks above my head right now, that are dancing a little bit. And yeah, other than that, it looks pretty damn good. So let's go to the options. We'll start at epics, which is the inbuilt TSR. And I'm guessing it must be like their TSR AA, which is off, I assume, because they don't give an AA. So let's go with quality and have a look. It actually improves those lines. Which is interesting. I need to turn my mouse sensitivity down, I know. I won't say there's really any loss in visuals at all. Those lines shift around a bit on movement. That's gonna be expected. The mountain is fizzling. That's the only thing. So we've got a bit of fizzling up in the snow caps, but that's not bad. Character model looks alright. His cheeks fizzling a little bit. The top of that is starting to fizzle a bit where there's those fine lines. So a bit more on movement. Nothing crazy. Definitely a... I mean, native wasn't perfect, right? So I don't think this is really a step down from native. I think it's as good. Certainly not anything to write home about. So let's go to just our balance, check that out. I'm not going to go below balanced. It's not something that I do, so yeah, those lines like above my... oh god. I don't have a pointer in this area, I can't pull my gun out. So those lines kind of... I'll tell you what, it's a little bit frame pacey. Those lines above his head are a little bit... power lines up there are a little bit. Those ones there are obviously like above my head now are a little bit. The mountain is very fizzly. That probably won't show up on YouTube. These fences are going a little bit, I suppose. Nothing crazy. Definitely playable. You can just notice a bit. I mean, it's holding up in motion, not too bad. It's not really going that blurry. It's definitely not as sharp as what it was. But I don't think it looks too bad. You can definitely notice, obviously, whatever's going on there. It looks kind of a bit worse now where I'm stood. So let's go to the next one, because if not this will go on forever. I'm not going to go below that, so let's go to Intel. Intel are a nightmare, I believe, because they have so many options. So native AA. Funny, that TSR felt a little bit frame pacey at a higher FPS than what this is. So this looks very clean. It still has the aliasing issues, but nothing horrendous. Nothing much worse than the mountains not fizzling. So that's alright. Obviously we are at a low frame rate, so it's not running particularly great, especially at the speed of my mouse sensitivity. But overall, I think that looks pretty clean and pretty good. What were we at native? It's a little bit shimmery on these fences. I wonder what the steps are like. God, this isn't very nice at 30 FPS. Those steps look alright. I think these fences always do this, regardless of anything. It looks alright, but obviously it's nowhere near enough performance. So let's go to the next one, which is Ultra Quality Plus. Well done, Intel. You had to break the mold, didn't you? You had to make it confusing for everyone. So there's no fizzling in the mountain. Those lines do a little bit something funny. I don't know if those cables look better now. Do they look better? I don't know if they look worse. There's a load of players that are going to be looking at me thinking, what the fuck is that weirdo doing? So, this kind of looks alright to me. It's absolutely fine. I should turn down my mouse sensitivity. This is going to be really horrible on YouTube. So let's get to the next one, which is Ultra Quality. No idea what that is. I don't know if they're going in between the normal upscalers. A little bit softer on movement, but still holding up pretty well. These fences look alright. The snow on the hills is fine. You do obviously get that. Those fine lines hanging down from the hooks are just gonna do that. It just seems to be the way it is. I think the kind of fences there just do that. I don't know what is ever going to fix that. These steps are holding up probably not too bad. That's fine. Character looks... You looking alright? Yeah, it looks fine. So let's go to quality. I have no idea what that is. Is that balance for the other upscalers? Where are we at? 80. Couldn't tell you. There's nothing immediately standing out other than the normal of those cables holding the hooks, those cables holding the hooks. That building is maybe starting to lose its... Nothing bad. Let's run down here and have a quick look. See if the steps fall apart. The fences down the other side are going to fall apart. Character model. Yeah, maybe your hair's starting to get a little bit crazy. I mean, those power lines are up, hanging. Those are... They do it. I think every upscaler does that. Might just be because the sun's behind it. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. Everything down here, nothing looks too blurry. Not bad. So, I'm not going to go any lower than that, because I'm not even sure what that is. We'll just move on to the next one, or we're going to be going on for hours. So, to AMD, let's go native AA. And it's about the same performance as all the rest of them, I think, roughly. Although, I think this one, above my head, that line going across there, is suddenly fizzling a bit. It's horrible at this frame rate. Those power lines holding the hooks, those are the same. The power lines down here I think are about the same. Yeah, even at native they do that. In fact, they just disappear. They've almost gone, haven't they? Or is it that they're that fine? I think they're just such a fine detail. Even at 4K, it can't hold them up. Because this is native. When you look from that angle, that's some fine lines that they're trying to get into this game. If you count those individually, Jesus, no wonder they're not holding up. So, that's going to be a tough ask for anything. These steps are holding up fine. The mountain is fine. The mountain is not alive. There's a bit of something going on above my head. And yeah, it's just really whatever is going on that line above my head there, which is on this one a bit more movement. So let's go to quality. Check that out. Yeah, so that line now is going crazy. And whatever's above my head this side now is going crazy. Some stuff up there is going a bit crazy. And it's kind of going a bit blurry. Those lines now are a right mess. Definitely that is not great. Is the snow alright? The snow looks alright. The mountains still aren't alive. Those power lines definitely go a bit aliasing on movement. Let's have a look. Those lines there, depending on where the sun is, just they're like that with they're like that with DLSS. It's way too much detail in those lines for those to hold up. It's not bad. It's not brilliant. It's definitely a lot more. Those fences will flicker. I don't know if it's just the way that the sun doesn't help. These steps are definitely a little bit more mobile. There's a little bit more movement looking like in them. And yeah, these fences, so yeah, not the best. There's a lot of movement going on down there. So we ain't gonna go, I suppose we can check it. We'll go to balanced. And yeah, now we've got like a full-on disco going on, which I kind of guessed was going to happen. So we're definitely staying away from that. Quality would be alright. I'd probably go for TSR or XESS over it, if I'm being honest, because like that above my head is quite bad. I know what's going on there. It's kind of like that in quite a lot of places, so yeah, it is what it is. Let's go to... what else have we got? No, not that. We're not doing that anymore. Oh, we've just got a video. Okay, so let's go to DLAA. And that's very clean. Doesn't actually look. So a lot of people say that it's really sharp. I don't think it looks. Some of the others looked a bit more sharper than this. I think it just looks cleaner. Let's check out this person. She got anything interesting? Any interesting details to check out? Her glass helmet's actually quite impressive, to say that I don't have any RT on. So, yeah, this looks good. It's not really going blurry. Saying that, is this put on frame gen? It has, hasn't it? Yes, because you're giving me too much performance. Sneaky. Sneaky NVIDIA. Throwing frame gen on like that. So, not that that would be... maybe that's why it didn't quite look as sharp as the rest of them, because we had frame gen getting thrown on. Yeah, that'd be why. That makes sense. So with this one we have basically the same as the others. In motion, those fine lines from the hooks. Everything else looks very clean. I've no doubt these fine lines from these hooks, it's not very nice because we're at 40 FPS. But so yeah, you can see those lines there. It's definitely way too much for them to try and do with those lines, especially when the sun's coming through it. But that's some fine lines to try and do there. But everything else looks good. So let's go to quality. Check that out. Check the hills out. The hills are fine. Looks good. There's a bit something there above my head. I think that does it on all of them. And then your normal offenders, which are these lines here, which might actually look a bit better now. And those ones there, which are a nightmare. you can tell it's kind of trying to hold them up when you're still. You can almost count them all, but it can't hold them up. But none of them can, and native can't. So the only real thing I'm noticing here is whatever that is above my head. And then the rest of it is pretty much... Let's see if the steps hold up. The steps are fine. The railings are fine. Those power lines are fine. The hills are fine. So this is pretty good. Let's check out this character. See if she's got anything decent. It always looks like I'm trying to check out a computer character's ass. I'm not trying to check out her ass. I'm looking for details. I wanted to see if she had a hamster backpack. She doesn't. That's it. I wasn't looking at her ass. So, yes, this looks good. See if it holds up balanced. No, we've started to lose. Started to get something in those lines above my head. The same as they all seem to do it balanced. Well, TSR did that balanced, didn't it? I think obviously FSR was just like a crazy mess. What's that thing doing up there? Huh, seems to not be doing it balanced. That's interesting. There's definitely something going on with that shadow above my head. So that's noticeable. On movement. It's staying pretty clean, as in it's not going blurry. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't say not to use it. It's probably the best option if you want to go to balanced. It's definitely staying... It's keeping a lot of detail. It's just the fine details. There are some fine details in this game that are everything struggling with, so... And these fences will flicker. Like I said, everything's kind of struggling with those. Steps are holding up alright. I know what this fence is like. The fence is starting to... Maybe... It's not bad. You can notice. I can notice the difference once I go down to balanced. The hill's fine. There's no flickering or anything up there. You can kind of notice there's a bit on the railings when you move. But for the most part, if you needed the performance, you could use it. The worst thing is that line above my head, which are these fine cables or whatever they are. I think that was it. Was that it? Yes, it is. So the last thing that we could do is go to quality. We can bang on frame gen because we're gonna need it, and we can have a look and see how that's where it crashed last time. It wanted to crash that time, actually. To be fair, I'm still overclocking my CPU. Maybe I am kind of... It's really hot. You can see it's running about 5 degrees warmer than what it would normally be, because it's about 5 degrees warmer in my house than what it would normally be. So I should probably knock it down while I'm playing at the minute, or certainly while I'm screen recording, because I'm adding extra. But we can go and have a look at the RT, because I suppose actually out in the open world If you saw a side by side, there'd probably be quite a lot to notice. But we'll just go and check out the reflections, I think. But yeah, we're kind of at a performance that I wouldn't run it because we are running with FG as well. Oh, we need to put... The one thing that I did notice with this, which is quite big, is ray reconstruction. So look at those reflections on the wall. And then, where is it? There. Now look at them. The difference is pretty substantial. And I think I did also notice that in here, when you're checking out the reflections, which are really good, not only of the like the machinery, but of actually the character models. So those reflections are super detailed of the characters. Like you can see their faces in it, which is pretty impressive. I can see her glasses in that reflection, which is pretty insane. I think they start to break up if you're not running ray reconstruction. Those, yeah, they're not. Probably not as bad as what I was thinking. Something in here, I think it was this piece of machinery, would disconnect. But yeah, it doesn't look as bad as what I thought it was. I think ray reconstruction does just clean it up that little bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's definitely a lot sharper. A lot more detail in that character, like the main character guy. You can see like the blue bits on that guy that are glowing in it. That's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, it does make a difference to the shadow details and stuff out in the open world, but I'm not going to start going through all that now because this video has gone on again for over half an hour. So you can kind of see the reflections there, which is all pretty impressive. But for this game, I'm not using it. I'd rather not have the performance hit. So effectively, I will be running this game on this GPU off. I don't think there's much actual point in running it at the. It doesn't add enough at the. It's to me, it's either ultra or kind of don't bother. So yeah, this is pretty much how I'm running it. So I'm running it at ultra settings, quality DLSS, and frame generation. Without recording, I'm about 100 in this area, out in the open world, depending where you are, maybe up to about 120. Looks very good. Character models are very clean. Everything stays very clean. So yeah, there we go. That was a quick look through the options. I know where they get these suits. Where did you get your suit? No, I'm not checking our ass. We're just having a little nose. That's all we're doing. I want to see if anyone's got one of those before I turn it off. Let's have a look. Let's just see if there's a random, because so many people have got them. Hamster. I love the hamster. Where's the hamster? There it is. The hamster. Let's check out the hamster. Insane. No, I'm not checking out her ass. I'm checking out the hamster. I mean, that holds up pretty well, eh? Let's be honest. That's pretty impressive. She's going to be wondering why the hell I'm just stood in front of her. But I'm just checking out your hamster, love. That's all I'm doing. Love. It's probably a guy playing, isn't it? But would a guy play with a female character with a hamster in your backpack? In fact, don't answer that. So, anyway, there we go. That's it. First Descendant, bit of a look through. See what the graphic options are like. What the hell is that? Really? I don't even know where they get these suits from. Like, I'm sorry, love, but you haven't even got anything to hang your gun from. Unreal. There we go. But yeah, this is the first time checking out on the Rode mic, so please let me know. Does it sound better? Does it sound worse? Does it just sound the same? If it's the same, it's probably not that bad. I needed 2 mics anyway. So let me know in the comments, please. And I will catch you in the next one.